So we're about to start our tech meeting in a minute. I have spent today cutting and editing out audio tracks for rehearsal. So some of them are to hear each part individually for a chunk of bars, so we can do an 8-bar phrase and just work on that and then move on to each part. And then other bits are editing full choir version or piano accompaniment down into that chunk so that they can run it a couple of times with accompaniment, and then obviously going the full song by the end. I have saved all the files into our Google Drive so that the music and tech people can access the files, and I'm just working now on the spreadsheet which will give them minute by minute instructions on what's going to happen in what order and what file they need to open to play the right music at the right time. So we've got a stretching warm-up, we've got some nice music for them to do some breathing and relaxation and stretching, and then we have a warm-up track which I created that is just the piano accompaniment for the warm-ups, and then we will go into a couple of the songs and start a new song this week, which is going to be fun because I haven't done that together yet, so it'll be the first time that we're looking at it, and just making sure that we can tackle it in the way we would normally tackle it at rehearsal, but with the right accompaniments behind us because we don't have an accompanist on hand. And we found that when we do the sound, if I was to play on my piano in the room while talking, the sound quality is not very good. It cuts out some of the sound. So we have had to come up with another plan, which is to have audio tracks that the music person will play and share through the program as a host. And so it plays on each person's machine at a better quality. So that's been one of the hurdles to come through and think about how to accompany rehearsal without doing it off the cuff at the piano. In order to run a full rehearsal, we have 4 people from the committee on a roster, and each week we have a host who helps with starting the session and is in charge of muting and unmuting me so that I don't interrupt the audio that's being played during a track, and then I'm unmuted again so I can talk to them and give them instructions in between. And then I have a music person who does all the music tracks as I need them and plays them through the audio of Zoom. I have a chat monitor person who keeps an eye on the chat for me so that they can make sure I answer any questions that come up during rehearsal, and just to check for any tech problems. If people are having issues, they can use the chat for that. And then I have a tech person who is in charge of making sure that people get onto Zoom and that they're checking our Facebook Messenger, our email, and making sure between those 2 people, the chat person and the tech person, they're checking all the messages to make sure there's no emergency help. I can't remember how to get on. It's not letting me on to Zoom. So we help those people and call them if we need to talk them on so that they make it to rehearsal. So those 4 people are kind of actively working during rehearsal to make sure that our rehearsal runs smoothly, and I can just kind of seamlessly go from task to task with the choir and direct them. I think if I was fussing around with the technology at the same time, it would make the rehearsal a bit more stilted and we probably wouldn't get through as much stuff. So that's why we have such an amazing team. And each week we change who's on those jobs. So the committee are all learning those jobs as they go. And so our Sunday meeting is always for us to discuss the tracks, make sure the files work, talk through what I'm expecting to happen that rehearsal, and giving them the plan to look through and talk through, make sure that we've got everything we need. to allow the rehearsal to run super smooth, and it usually does, and we've been pretty happy so far. But it's a team effort. It's not a one-person job. That is 5 of us working hard for the full rehearsal to make sure that everyone gets the most out of it. And we're happy with that so far, and most of the members have been really happy with how that flows. You can't do it on your own. There is a whole team involved in this planning, creating the resources, and then operating the system on the night of the rehearsal. So yeah, that's how we roll.